Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I hope you guys are having a great day as we are looking at the markets from an educational perspective for breakouts, reversals, all those fun things. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We'd love to have you watch us regularly. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in because there are some interesting moves that happened yesterday, but we still stayed inside of a pretty wide range. So let's start with the S&P. So the S&P this morning, we're down three and a quarter points. But if we look at yesterday's price action, we spoke about the fact that we had a demand area right in here that could serve as a reversal point. And when we were looking at the DMC yesterday, we were actually just above that little demand area on a 15-minute chart. So price dropped back into that area, and we got an explosive move out of that zone. So do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Were you able to catch any of that move yesterday? Now, why could we just take this trade as an entry? What was our reasoning that we could just get long on this position? Well, the reasoning of that is that our big picture time frame for intraday trading, our 4-hour chart, is still in an upward trend. We are continuing to put in slightly higher lows on our 4-hour chart. We can see higher low, higher low, higher low. Now, that momentum is definitely slowing down as we did rally up into what looked to be a pretty decent area of supply, but we cut right through it before giving us a reversal. And as this is a confirmation entry, it didn't really give us a clean entry. So now what am I looking at for today? Well, what I'm looking at for today is, let me get rid of these. We are sitting right at an area that could serve as a potential breakout point. Now, a breakout point would certainly require our rules, and those of you that are familiar with what we do at Traders RV is that we need a minimum of 3 touches, we need basing before the level, and we need room to roam. And so if I look at this, I've got 1, 2, 3 touches. I've got basing before the level that's occurring. And do I have room to roam? Well, looking above me, I do have a little supply area here that could act as a bit of a trap. So I am a little bit cautious of this supply area right in here. But I think with enough basing, we'll be able to cut through that region. So, I do have a couple of supply areas there up above me. For now, I'm going to remove those because I don't see those as excellent levels for reversals. But I do see them as pretty good areas for target. Now, remember, if we get the breakout above 4,400, then you would anticipate for price to continue to run up to about 44.45. So I think you've got some pretty good opportunity for some points today in the S&P on that breakout position. What about a reversal? Well, if we get a bit of a reversal, you've got a little level right in here formed yesterday morning around 9:45 with those wicks, but I don't really love those kind of super wicky positions, if you will, where there's a lot of high up and down wicks. Those typically tend to be fairly dangerous levels to trade on retests. Could we get short below the Globex low? Yes, there is an opportunity for that as well, as we are basing a couple of times through here. And there's not a lot of clear demand below that either. So I'm on the side of breakout today, either one way or the other, knowing that you could have a little run one way or the other. Now, the key to remember is that this is a 15-minute level. This 43.67 is a 15-minute level, and the 43.97 is a 1-hour level. So certainly the 4,400 area up here is a stronger breakout trade. Looking at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is sitting, we came to our confirmation area, and once again, just like the other one, we cut right through it. And then we hit the other one and just kind of sat there. So we are sitting below a breakout level in the S&P, or in the NASDAQ and the S&P. Both are sitting below a quality breakout area. The 15-minute supply here came close to it. This is the level we looked at yesterday morning, and we didn't get filled on that area. I'm going to just remove it at this point, since we've moved far enough away from it, and I think that your breakout above 14,306 is probably the better way to go. Looking at the Russell 2000, so the Russell also, our supply areas up here certainly were confirmation supplies, so this one cut right through. This one, we did actually get a small entry for a 1-to-1. It put in a bit of a double topping pattern, but also sitting at a potential breakout. So you can see that we have three markets that are just sitting there waiting for a potential upside breakout. But remember that this is a very news-driven market right now. It could break out at any time, one way or the other. Taking a look at our energies and our metals, starting with crude oil. Crude oil has reached our highest price. We are poised to continue to run higher. Our weekly supply level got completely blown through, but it got blown through with no entry, and I'll take that. I'll take that every day of the week. When we get blown through with no entry, that's kind of the way to go. So we talked yesterday about this level up here, and then price pulled back into a demand zone. Now it's sliced back through to this one. We had a couple of smaller time frame demands that it cut right through until hitting this area of demand, and that was the one that we had looked at, but we didn't really love the time of day that it was formed. We did, however, get a really strong rally off of that level. So off that level, we got a really nice move away, and we've come into. Let me put more time here on my chart. The last time, we got to go further back. All right, so we've got this little, kind of area all the way up here. But the last time that we were this high in crude oil, I mean, we were at 147 a barrel back in 2008. Are we going to hit that again? I don't know, but we did come above this 112. 112 was a really, really big number, getting over that $110 a barrel psychological number, because if you notice, we had peaked at 114 back in 2011. We peaked here, and then that was where we had our precipitous drop off, where I anticipated that we would get some supply up in here, and we did not. We kind of cut right through there. And this has been, if you take a look at this weekly candlestick, this is our biggest weekly candlestick in oil to the upside that I have seen on the chart in my entire trading career. If you look just from pure dollars, we are up. We're up 21% in oil, $20 a barrel just this week. Now, we've seen some bearish ones like that. Certainly around the COVID, although even that wasn't quite as bad. It was, our biggest weekly drop would have been this one here, and it was 36%, but only $12. So as far as pure dollars, that's a very, very expanded range candle that we've created. And the further back I go, even when we go back to 2008. Where we had our high at 147, we had our biggest week up was about a $15 a barrel, $15 per barrel week right through here. So my point being is that if we look at this week that we've had in oil so far, it's a historic week with the most parabolic candle that I've seen in my time trading this particular asset. So what does that mean? Well, a couple of things. First of all, it's what we would consider speed candles, and speed candles do tend to get retraced. And so I am not ruling out retracements back to the origin of this move. And the origin of this move comes back all the way down into here. So I'm not discounting that we can get a retracement back to one of these levels. So if we look at where this week started with this gap up right here. We gapped up right to this region, and it has exploded off of that gap. And so I'm going to keep these areas of demand down here in place. Where am I looking to sell? The answer is I'm not. I'm just not at this point. Now, I do think that we're going to come back down into this region. Oil has to come back down at some point because the supply for the oil, will have to meet up with demand at some point, and ideally the supply will be able to be increased, through additional through OPEC can certainly have additional consideration. So too can U.S. production also be ramped up. So that would be the way that oil would come back down into one of these ranges. In the meantime, we're looking to trade what the chart that's in front of us, and I'm looking to get long on quality pullbacks. And so, as it stands right now on an hourly chart, if we get a small pullback into this region here, I think that actually works as a pretty good reversal point, 109.45 by 107.85. Gold hit our supply level in the overnight hours that we identified yesterday. We got this 15-minute area of supply. Price came into there. We started to get a little bit of a move away, but not a huge one. If you took that trade, great. Now, can I take it another time? No, and the reason is we penetrated the level by more than 50%. So that level needs to be DTM, dead to me. And I don't really see a super quality level worth trading at this point in between there. You've got a little bit of a zone below us, I'd say right down in here for demand if price returns, where we see a little bit of fair price value before a very strong move higher. So that would be where I would look for in gold. Those are the markets that I think are worth looking at today. We could take a real quick look at the euro. I think that the euro, we came in last night into an overnight area of demand that had been established in a few weeks ago. You got to go way back to, I don't even have it on this chart. I got to go back further. Wait, actually, it's a level drawn more than a year ago. That level was identified more than a year ago because I went back a year on the chart and can't find it. And we did get a bounce off of that level that was identified over a year ago. Remember, I try to keep my lines on the charts because they do serve some relevance even after they've long been formed. But our downward trend does continue in the euro. And so where would be the level for us to take a good look on a retest, I think right now would be up in here if we come back to that region. I don't know that we're going to be coming back to that area anytime soon, but if we do, I think that 11,197 by 11,331, you have a decent area for supply on an entry in that pace. So, all right, everybody. Well, that's all I have for today. If you guys would like to learn more, you wonder what we do, go to tradersarmy.com to see what it is that we do and how we help our members. But until next time, see ya. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.